Join Magic Mike at RadioCare as you travel through the decades. 2 hours of great tunes, lots of trivia and friendly banter.
Let's see how it goes this time. A few technical hitches, but we're back live on air. So for anyone that couldn't get in or has been waiting for the show to start, this is Radio Care. It's Saturday night, and tonight's show is dedicated to all those kids that grew up in the 70s. So if you're like Alison and myself, we were born at the end of the 60s, and our childhood sort of was growing up in the 70s and into our teenage years in the 80s. So I've called this show Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk. Now, for anyone outside the UK, you may not know what clackers are, but they were these balls which run like elastic string, and people used to clack them together. Also, the chopper was the Raleigh chopper, which I remember sort of all the kids sort of riding around on in the 1970s. And the game Ker-Plunk was a game with the marbles and the straws, and you'd pull the straws out, and the marbles would drop to the bottom of it looked like a cocktail shaker, I think it was. But anyway, to get us started, I've got some TV themes which I'm going to be sort of playing sort of roughly sort of throughout the show, so don't be surprised if you hear some, but see if you can recognise where they're from. So this one is a very famous one. It's going to be neat, the whole theme. This one is Whole Lot of Love. You're expecting a bit of Tony Blackburn or Smash Here Nicey to come in then. That was a reminder of Thursday nights. Thursday nights was very special for us sort of growing up in the 70s and 80s, because that's when Top of the Pops was on, and we got to find out what songs were sort of going to be sort of heading up the charts and where they were going. Although we did used to listen on a Sunday and try and record it on one of them little sort of tape recorders. I remember sort of I used to do that, and I'm sure you used to, Alison, as well.
Pause.
Stop, pause, try and get it before they start talking.
Yeah.
But that was Whole Lot of Love, done by CCC, but originally the song, as anyone who's a real music buff would know, is a Led Zeppelin song. It's from their Led Zeppelin 2 album from 1960, and it's 1969 single, but then it was recorded by CCS, who were done the instrumental rendition, which you just heard with the flute playing sort of melody. Billboard described their version as a blockbuster instrumental treatment of a Led Zeppelin hit, while Nick Coleman of The Independent thought that the cover succeeded in the tunes sexually... What? It's not a sexual song. We don't have that sort of stuff on this show. It says without stripping away the rutty frob. Okay, moving swiftly along. It did actually do quite well. Got to number 26 in Belgium, and it got to number 37 in Canada, number 58 in the US Billboard Hot 100, and on the 58 on the Cashbox top 100 singles in the US. The UK music variety television show Top of the Pops, as I mentioned, used a version of it as the intro to the show, which we remember for many, many years, until Phil Lynott came up with the Yellow Pearl theme, which was sort of more in the 1980s. So this next one is definitely a classic from the 70s. This one is Gilbert O'Sullivan and Get Down.
Give me the creeps when you jump on your feet, so get down, get down, get down. Keep your hands to yourself, I'm strictly out of bounds. Once upon a time I drank a little wine, was as happy as could be, happy as could be. Now I'm just like a cat on a hot tin roof. Baby, what do you think you're doing to me? Told you once before, and I won't tell you no more, so get down, get down, get down. You're a bad dog, baby, but I still want you around, around. I still want you around. Hey, I don't give a damn, and I'd like you if you can to get down, get down, get down. You're a bad dog, baby, but I still want you around. Once upon a time I drank a little wine, was as happy as could be, happy as could be. Now I'm just like a cat on a hot tin roof. Baby, what do you think you're doing to me? Told you once before, and I won't tell you no more, so get down, get down, get down. You're a bad dog, baby, but I still want you around, around. I still want you around. Bad baby, bad dog, baby. Bad baby, bad dog, baby. Bad baby, bad dog, baby. Bad baby, bad dog, baby.
How could you not like a bit of Gilbert O'Sullivan? So Gilbert O'Sullivan, Irish singer-songwriter, and this was from his 1973 album I'm a Writer Not a Fighter, and released as a single. It spent 2 weeks at the top of the UK singles charts in the April of 1973. Also got to number 1 in Ireland, and was a top 10 hit in the United States and Canada. So well done, Gilbert. That's a great song, and Alison was saying that she had the album and she used to love that song, used to love playing it. Now this song, this next one, I've been singing on and off all day because I think I've turned into one of them people which I never thought that I would turn into. My dad always used to sort of listen to music and used to say, oh, it's much better in my day, you know, oh, I can't stand the stuff that's on the radio now, oh, you can't understand what they're singing about. Well, listen to the words of this song. This is Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, and the song's called Old Time Rock and Roll, and basically he's telling you to put the old records back in the shop, get rid of the new ones, because you won't get him on a disco dance floor. This one is Old Time Rock and Roll.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time of rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never even get me out on the floor. In 10 minutes I'll be late for the door. I like that old time of rock and roll. Still like that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Won't go to hear 'em play a tango. I'd rather hear some blues or funky old soul. There's only one sure way to get me to go. Stop playing old time of rock and roll. Call me a relic, call me what you will. Say I'm old fashioned, say I'm over the hill. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time of rock and roll. Still like that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Oh. Still like that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Still like that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. I still like that old time of rock and roll. That kind of music just soothes my soul. I reminisce about the days of old with that old time of rock and roll. Still like that old time of rock and roll.
We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Steve Austin will be that man. Better, stronger, faster.
Well, that was a blast from the past, wasn't it? That was a bit of a $6 million man, and Alison was just saying that her brother had the toy with the arm.
I think he did.
I actually had that as well. He used to press this little lever, little button on his back, and he used to like lift up this steel girder. And he had this little glass eye that you could look through, a bit like, I don't know, I had an Action Man like that as well. My cousin John, he had the Stretch Armstrong sort of a toy, and I never really wanted one of them. I couldn't see the point in them.
I thought they were a bit later on, the old Stretch Arms.
No, that was definitely in the 70s.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember used to going up to Northampton sort of like to see him, sort of see my aunt and uncle and John and that, and yeah, I had better toys than he did. But yeah, $6 million man. So if anyone sort of heard that one, I hope you got that one straight away. Song just played was Old Time Rock and Roll, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Song written by George Jackson and uncredited lyrics by Bob Seger. It was recorded on Seger's 10th studio album, Stranger in Town, and it was also released as a single in 1979, so it's one at the end of the 70s but still within the 70s. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a sentimental sort of a look back at the music of the original rock and roll era. Has often been referenced as Seger's favourite song, and the song gained renewed popularity after being featured in the 1983 film Risky Business. Yeah, great song, sort of a play on there. So this next one is one of the first boy bands, British boy bands, actually Scottish boy bands of the 1970s. This one is the Bay City Rollers.
If you hate me after what I say, can't put it off any longer. Just gotta tell her anyway. Bye bye baby, baby, goodbye baby, bye bye. Bye bye baby, don't make me cry baby, bye bye. You're the one girl in town I'd marry. Girl, I'd marry you now if I were free. I wish it could be.
Ah, you gotta love a bit of Bay City Rollers, haven't you, Alison?
Definitely have.
So what did you have as a little girl then? Come on then.
I had some Bay City Rollers slippers. I think I had the little tartan trousers.
I bet you look cute in them slippers.
I don't know about that one. I just remember my mum putting these little bassy roller slippers on me.
Oh. I didn't actually know, but the song was originally recorded by the Four Seasons back in 1965, and they had a hit with it. Number 1 hit in Canada, number 12 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in 65. But this version by the Bay City Rollers sold 1 million copies and hit number 1 in the UK charts for 6 weeks in the March of 75. It ended the year as the UK's top selling single. It says the Four Seasons version is quite sparse in instrumental backing. Instead of it's carried by the vocals, while the Bay City Rollers is faster and fuller backing sounds, and played a whole step lower, which includes an 8-bar solo, supposedly by Eric Faulkner, but probably a session musician, which is not present on the original. I couldn't tell sort of whether there was any sort of difference. I don't think, I think they were a talented young band, and I had 2 albums by the Bay City Rollers. I did have, like you, my mum got me a pair of white trousers which had a little bit of tartan at the bottom. So I would have been, 75. I would have been 6. We both would have been 6.
I had posters of them as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, this next artist made his debut with this single as a clown. This one is The Show Must Go On, and it's Leo Sayer.
Baby, though I chose this lonely life, it seems it's strangling me now. All the wild men, big cigars, gigantic cars, they're all laughing at me now. Oh, I've been used, I've been taken for a fool. Oh, what a fool, I broke all the rules, yeah. But I won't let the show go on. Baby, there's an enormous crowd of people and they're all after my blood. I wish maybe they'd tear down the walls of this theater and let me out, let me out. Oh, I've been so blind, yeah. I've wasted time, wasted all so much time walking on the wire, yeah. But I won't let the show go on. Been so blind, oh yes, I've been so blind. Wasted my time, wasted so much time walking on the wire, yeah. But I won't let the show go on. Baby, I wish you'd help me escape and help me get away. Leave me outside my address, far away from this masquerade. I've been so used, I've been so abused, I've been a fool, I broke all the rules. I've been so used, oh, and abused. But I won't let the show go, but I won't let the show, oh, I won't let the show go on.
Blimey, someone who's actually shorter than me, I think. Leo Sayer, sort of very short singer, used to wear the big platform boots to make him look a bit taller. But yeah, it's a great song, isn't it? Don't know why he dressed up as a clown, but I suppose it was because the song is The Show Must Go On, and you think that's more to do with like the theatre and circus.
And he did have the clown hair.
I suppose he did.
A big Carly.
He did.
Didn't he?
He did. But although he dressed as, like, is it Pierrot, the
Pierrot
the clown? Yeah. Which was quite a sort of scary clown, really. I suppose it scared a lot of kids. So the song was co-written by Leo Sayer and David Courtney, and first recorded by Sayer and released in the United Kingdom in 1973, becoming Sayer's first hit record, reaching its chart peak at number 2 in early 74. Got the hiccups. And the song reached number 3 on the Irish singles charts in January 74, included on Leo Sayer's debut album Silverbird. It does say the song was also covered by Three Dog Night, whose version was released in 74 and became a hit in the United States, peaking at number 4. Didn't know there was another version of it. So you learned something new. So we got a couple of comedy songs coming up in a minute. And this one leads quite nicely into, if I can find it on here. No, it's not on here. I'll just play the comedy song then. Here we go. This one is Ernie.
You could hear the hoofbeats pound as they raced across the ground, and the clatter of the wheels as they spun round and round. And he galloped into Market Street, his badge upon his chest. His name was Ernie, and he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie loved a widow, a lady known as Sue. She lived all alone in Lily Lane at number 22. They said she was too good for him. She was haughty, proud and chic. But Ernie got his cocoa there 3 times every week. They called him Ernie. Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. She said she'd like to bathe in milk. He said, all right, sweetheart. And when he'd finished work one night, he loaded up the cart. He said, you want it pasteurised, 'cause pasteurised is best. She says, Ernie, I'll be happy if it comes up to me chest. That tickled old Ernie. Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Oh. Now Ernie had a rival, a evil-looking man, called Two-Ton Ted from Teddington, and he drove the baker's van. He tempted her with his treacle tarts and his tasty oatmeal bread, and when she seen the size of his hot meat pies, it very near turned her head. She nearly swooned at his macaroon, and he said, now if you treat me right, you'll have hot rolls every morning and crumpets every night. He knew once she sampled his layer cake, he'd have his wicked way, and all Ernie had to offer was a pint of milk a day. Poor Ernie! Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. One lunchtime, Ted saw Ernie's awesome cart outside her door. He drove him mad to find it was still there at 4:30. And as he leapt down from his van, hot blood through his veins did course, and he went across to Ernie's cart, and he didn't half kick his horse, whose name was Trigger. Trigger! And he pulled the fastest milk cart in the West. Now Ernie rushed out into the street, his gold top in his hand. He said, if you want to marry Susie, you fight for her like a man. Oh, why don't we play cards for her, he sneeringly replied. And just to make it interesting, we'll have a shilling on the side. Now Ernie dragged him from his van, and beneath the blazing sun, they stood there face to face, and Ted went for his bun. But Ernie was too quick, things didn't go the way Ted planned, and a strawberry-flavoured yoghurt sent it spinning from his hand. Now Susie ran between them and tried to keep them apart, and Ernie pushed her aside, and a rock cake caught him under his heart. And he looked up in pained surprise, and the concrete hardened crust of a stale pork pie caught him in the eye, and Ernie bit the dust. Poor Ernie! Ernie! And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West. Ernie was only 52. He didn't want to die. But now he's gone to make deliveries in that milk round in the sky, where the customers are angels and ferocious dogs are banned, and a milkman's life is full of fun in that fairy dairy land. But a woman's needs are manifold, and Sue, she married Ted. But strange things happened on their wedding night as they lay in their bed. Was that the trees a-rustling, or the hinges of the gate? Or Ernie's ghostly gold tops a-rattling in their crate? They won't forget Herney.
Ernie,
And he drove the fastest milk cart in the West.
Oh, bless Ernie. I think that Tony Blackburn, I know I mentioned him earlier, but he used to play them sort of songs, particularly sort of on the sort of Saturday. Was it Tony Blackburn that done the Junior Choice, was it?
Oh, I can't remember that
I'm
one.
trying to sort of think, but one of them that used to play, used to do sort of like, sort of, not kids sort of radio, but used to sort of play sort of for the younger sort of generation. And would play sort of some of the sort of children's sort of songs that kids would sort of find funny, really. But that was by Benny Hill. It says written and performed by English comedian Benny Hill. Song was first performed on television in 1970 and released as a successful recording, topping the UK singles charts in December 71, reaching the Christmas #1 spot. The song also peaked at #1 in Australia in 1972 and received an Ivor Novello Award from the British Academy of Songwriters, Composers and Authors in 72. And the single B-side was a song called Ting-a-ling-a-loo, a music hall parody. Hill later suggested that the melody of Ting-a-ling-a-loo have largely plagiarised by the Spitting Image Chicken song. Couldn't comment because I don't know sort of how that song sort of went, the Ting-a-ling-a-loo. Sticking with these comedy ones, this one's from the Wurzels. This one is Brand New Combine Harvester.
I drove my tractor through your haystack last night. I threw me pitchfork at your dog to keep quiet. Now something's telling me that you avoiding me. Come on now, darling, you got something I need. 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Come on now, let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you've got 43. Now I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. She made I laugh. I'll stick by you, I'll give you all that you need. We'll have twins and triplets, I'm a man built for speed. And you know I'll love you, darling, so give me your hand. One thing I want the most is all the acres of land. 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Come on now, let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you've got 43. Now I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Oh, she's a lovely bit of stuff and all. For 7 long years I've been alone in this place. Ain't sleep in the kitchen, it's a proper disgrace. Now if I cleaned it up, would you change your mind? I'll give up drinking Strumpy and that larder and lime. 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Come on now, let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you've got 43. Now I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Who loves you, baby? Ha! When we grand couple at that last Wurzel dance, I wore brand new gaiters and me corduroy pants. In your new Sunday dress with your perfume smelling grand, we had our photos took in a sold in end. Now I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Now that we both past our 50s, I think that you and me should stop this gallivanting and will you marry me? 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. You're a fine looking woman and I can't wait to get my hands on your land.
That was a bit... What, did anyone guess that one? What thing was that one?
I definitely know that one.
What one was it?
It was the Waltons.
It was the Waltons.
One of my favourite programmes. I still watch it today.
What was it? Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, bloody hell, you know
Good
them all.
night, Aaron.
I used to watch that with my family. With we'd all sort of be
My
sat there.
sister-in-law still watches it as well.
Yeah, it was classic though. The classic sort of watching them sort of ones on there. But the song before was the Wurzels version of a song by Melanie called Brand New Keys. And their version by the Wurzels was in 1976. I'm trying to see where it got to. In the UK, the song was released by the Wurzels, band from Somerset who drank lots of cider in the West Country, and a bit of feedback as I'm sort of talking. Style called Scrumpy and Western, and it reached number 1 in the June of 1976. And we all know, for us growing up in that particular time, the summer of 76 was a blooming hot one, wasn't it?
Sure was.
Hottest summer recorded until, I think, last year. I think, was it last year or 2020?
Something like that.
But it was actually sort of beaten. This generation, the millennials, are actually sort of now able to say, oh, the hottest summer we've had. But for us, particularly for Alison and myself, who we come under Generation X, and we've been saying for years, the hottest summer that we had was 1976. And I'm sure there's generations that go back that say they had the hottest summer or the coldest winter, and it'll go on and on and on. This next one definitely takes us back to our childhood, and hopefully many of the listeners out there. By the way, Alison, how many are we up to at the moment?
Okay, Mike, so we've got 3,803 listeners at the moment.
Lovely. A nice, intimate number. That's what we like. A nice, intimate, friendly crowd to join us here on Radio Care for Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk. Maybe the names put them off.
Maybe
they worry what Clackers
Especially
are.
Clackers. I mean, I did wonder why you put that on till you told me. Thought you'd spelt it wrong, Mike.
It's not that kind of show. Right, this next one is one from Paul McCartney and Wings, and this one is Molokindaya.
Molokindaya, oh, mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be on Molokindaya. Far have I travelled, and much have I seen. Dark distant mountains with valleys of green, past painted deserts, the sun sets on fire as he carries me home to the Molokindaya. Molokindaya, oh, mist rolling in from the sea. My desire is always to be here, oh, Molokindaya.
Now, that's still a great song today. Sort of listening to that just then, and the bagpipes, and I can still picture the video with them walking on the beach, and yeah, what a great song that is. So it was by Paul McCartney and Wings, and it says the song was written by Paul McCartney and Denny Lane. The song also written as a tribute to Kintyre, which is a peninsula, get my words right in a minute, in Scotland, and the headlands of the Mull of Kintyre, where McCartney has owned High Park since 1966. The single was Wings' biggest hit in Britain and one of the best sellers of all time in the United Kingdom, where it became the 1977 Christmas #1 and was the first single to sell over 2 million copies nationwide. So, Alison, we've got a couple of shout-outs, I believe.
Well, yeah, I'd like to give Natalie some get well wishes.
Oh,
Friend
yeah.
Natalie, she's been very poorly the last few days. She's got COVID. She was hoping to do the podcast for the fibromyalgia
She was
last week, but she got really poorly. So hopefully we'll see her next week when she's better and comes round for one of her caramel coffees like she likes to. So get well soon, Natalie.
Yeah, get well soon, Nat.
Say hello to Louise. I think she's listening tonight.
Yeah, Louise and Rodney over in Rugby.
Yeah, and I think my brother Mark will listen in on this one, and my sister-in-law Lisa. So if they are going to listen in, hello.
Hello, Mark and Lisa,
Yeah.
up in Sheffield.
Have you got any shout-outs, Mark?
Richard, who sort of tunes in from week to week or listens to the download. So Richard's just outside Coventry in Bedworth. I think they call it Bedworth, don't they? Over there, we say Bedworth here down here.
It is Bedworth.
We say Bedworth, but in Coventry they say Bedworth.
That's because Coventryans
Say it like that.
say it like that, yeah.
A different way of saying it. Also to say hello to Tracy, who has been tuning in recently and often likes the posts when we put them on there. Sarah, who's sort of been like, Sarah and Trudy have been liking the posts as well,
Yeah.
when they're put on
yes.
there. Also, any sort of people sort of listening sort of from overseas, checking the stats the other day, we have got people all over the world that are listening to us. We've got them listening in the US, in Canada, in Australia, even had some in Bahrain, in Mexico, in Taiwan, in the Philippines, in Chile, and France. I think we had some in Italy as well, and Kenya.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
if they want to send us a message, it'd be nice to hear from somebody.
Yes, definitely.
Across the
If you're listening to the shows and you're enjoying them, send us a message. And please, as Alison always says and reminds me to tell you, it doesn't take a second just to
like and share.
Like and share, absolutely. The more people listening to the show, it's great. It's great just to sort of get the show out there. If you're listening and carry on downloading, you must be enjoying it, because we're still getting sort of the people that are downloading, and we love doing it, don't we?
We do, certainly do.
We look forward to it. There's a lot of hard work goes into sort of doing the shows, isn't there?
Yeah.
Producing them, but we really enjoy doing that.
It's not a 5-minute job, is it?
It's not. It's not a case of just loading up the songs and sitting back. There's the research that goes into it.
And you have to purchase the songs.
Purchase the song, so it's the cost that sort of goes into it as well. So we want to do some sort of more sort of promotion on that, and that's something that we're working on. Anyway, this next song is one that Alison will probably like. It's from one of her favourite artists or favourite bands.
Smokey.
It is Smokey.
Smokey.
And this one is If You Think You Know How to Love Me.
I think I do.
I think you do.
A breathless drive on a downtown street. Motorbike ride in the midday heat. The dust that hung from the desert skies, run though we'd run, it still burned our eyes. Oh yes, we may walk on the wild, wild side of life, and our movements traced by a stranger close by your side. And in the shadows of a promise, you can take my hand and show me a way to understand. So if you think you know how to love me, and you think you know what I need, and if you really, really want me to stay, you got to lead the way. Yes, if you think you know how to love me, and you think you can stand by me, and if you really, really want me to stay, you got to lead the way. Oh, A reckless night in a nameless town. Then we moved out of sight with a silent sound. A beach that wept with deserted waves, that's where we slept, knowing we'd be safe. Now you may think you can walk on the wild, wild side with me, but there's a lot I can learn, and a lot that I've yet to see. You know you've got my life lying in your hands. It's up to you to make me understand. So if you think you know how to love me, and you think you know what I need, and if you really, really want me to stay, you got to lead the way. Yes, if you think you know how to love me, and you think you can stand by me, and if you really, really want me to stay, you got to lead the way. Yes, if you think you know how to love me, and you think you know what I need, and if you really, really want me to stay.
Did you enjoy that one?
I certainly did. I always enjoy a bit of Smokey.
Ah. So that was Smokey, and If You Think You Know How to Love Me from 1975. The single appeared later on an album, Changing All the Time, and like the band's first single, Passing It Around, the song was composed by Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman, who pop up quite a bit in the 70s for writing the songs. It says the song became a chart success all over Europe, peaking at number 2 in Ireland, number 3 in Sweden, number 6 in Norway, number 8 in Germany, 15 in the Netherlands, and it took 6 weeks for the song to debut in the UK. In July of 75, after a few days, Smokey appeared on Top of the Pops, who we played the theme tune earlier on, and the single eventually peaked at number 3 on the UK singles charts. It says that the song was actually re-recorded, so that was Chris Norman singing that one, but the song was actually re-recorded by Pat Benatar back in 1979. I haven't heard that version of it.
I don't think I want to. I like listening to Smokey sing it.
If we had video cameras in here, you would see this defiant look on Alison's face enough to say, I don't think I want to listen to Pat Benatar. You can keep your Pat Benatar. You're listening to Smokey. Who we got next? What artist we got next?
Okay, so the next song is Silver Lady by David Soul, and of course David Soul played in Starsky and Hutch, which was
Which one was he?
Another 70s.
Was he Starsky or Hutch?
Hutch.
Correct. I thought I'd just test you.
Yeah.
Starsky had the curly hair.
Oh yeah.
And Hutch had the blonde hair.
Oh yeah, he was blonde. He was lovely.
Here we go, Silver Lady.
tired of drifting, searching, shifting from town to town. Every time I'd slip and slide a little further down. I can't blame you if you won't take me back. After everything I put you through, but honey, you're my last hope, and who else can I turn to? Come on, silver lady, take my word, I won't run out on you again. Believe me, oh, I've seen the light. It's just one long night without you. Here I am a million miles from home. The Indiana wind and rain cut through me. I'm lost and alone, chilled to the bone. Silver lady, double talkers, backstreet walkers at every turn. Seedy motels and no-star hotels, still I had to learn that the one shining thing in my mind was the sweet love I had with you. And honey, you're my last hope, and who else can I turn to? Come on, silver lady, take my word, I won't run out on you again. Believe me, oh, I've seen the light. It's just one long night without you. Here I am a million miles from home. The Indiana wind and rain cut through me. I'm lost and alone, chilled to the bone. Silver lady, can't you find it in you to forgive me? 'Cause here I am a million miles from home. The Indiana wind and rain cut through me. I'm lost and alone, chilled to the bone. Silver lady, come on, silver lady, take my word, I won't run out on you again. Believe me, oh, I've seen the light. It's just one long night without you.
That's one you can sing along to, isn't it? Silver Lady by David Soul, as Alison had said, released in 1977, reached number one on the UK singles charts. And it said it spent 5 weeks at the top of the top 10 before eventually toppling Elvis Presley. So that must have been when Elvis died in the August of 77, and then they released Way Down. So that must have been the song that was toppled from the charts. Just had a message from a friend of ours, Richard, who listens. He said he's tried sort of posting a couple of times, but Castor FM might sort of be playing up a bit at the moment. But he has come up with some very, very useful information. So I thought it was Tony Blackburn that done Junior Choice, but it wasn't. He's correct. It was Ed Stewart, Stewpot, that used to do Junior's Choice back in the 70s. And the show still runs on Christmas Day with Annika Rice. So, Richard, thank you so much for sort of letting us know.
Didn't he do Crackerjack as well, Ed Stewpot?
No, Stu Francis used to do that. I don't know, there might have been, because there's several people done Crackerjack.
No, I'm probably mixing the name up.
Yeah, because Stu Francis was the one that used to go, oh, I could crush a grape. Oh, I could jump off a doll's house. No?
Yeah, I do remember that, but I'm trying to think, did he do that on
I promise I'm not making it up.
No, I know, but I didn't know whether he did that on Crackerjack.
So this next song is one from an artist that was my mum's favourite. So I'm going to dedicate it to my mum, but also to my sister Bev. She's been sort of busy looking after family members who've been a bit poorly sort of recently, and she's done a blooming good job at doing that, and also looking after her little granddaughter. So this one is one from John Denver, and this is Annie's song.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter, let me die in your arms. Down beside you, let me always be with you. Come, let me love you, come love me my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again.
That one brought a lump to my throat, sort of thinking of my mum and that, because she absolutely loved John Denver. That was Annie's song. And for any musicians out there, that song was written in 4/4 time and recorded by John Denver. The song was released as the lead single for his 8th studio album, Back Home Again. Remember that album cover very well. And it was his second number one in the United States, and occupying the top spot for 2 weeks in 1974. And his song also went to number one on the easy listening charts. Billboard ranked it at 25 in number 70 in 1974. It went to number one in the United Kingdom, where it was John Denver's only major hit. 4 years later, an instrumental version also became a major hit for James Galway. If you remember the flutist James Galway, he actually brought out a version of it. Just had another message from our friend Richard. I think we need to get him on the research panel. He said that Alison is quite correct, because Ed Stewart was the host of a Crackerjack at one stage.
Oh, thank you, Richard.
There we go. We'll have to get him on board, won't we? Sort of finding sort of the research, sort of the information for us.
I do know my stuff.
You do know your stuff. So we got a little bit of a disco era coming up, not too much, just a couple of songs that probably lead into that era, and then we're going to have a sort of a mixture of other stuff, and also, like I say, I'm going to sort of throw in a couple of theme tunes as we go along. This one is one from George McRae, and this one is Rock Your Baby, but not too hard. Come on then. Who shot JR?
It was Crystal, I think.
What was it?
Yeah. That brings back memories,
It
that
does.
Dallas theme tune.
Doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Oh,
I love that programme.
my mum loved that
My
programme.
mum did as well.
Was it Saturday nights?
Yeah.
Used to have sort of a...
I think, yeah, it's Saturday or Wednesday nights in the week.
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember, I'm sure Wednesday.
Can't remember, but yeah. I think there was a song came out, wasn't it? Who Shot JR?
I don't
Where
know.
they sort of a comedy type
But
song.
what I hated was there was a cliffhanger and you had to wait like nearly a year before you saw it again, and it was like, oh, when's that?
Yeah, and I think he ended up being Larry Hagman being interviewed on Wogan, sort of where they're talking about it, but couldn't give away the secrets or anything sort of about it.
Oh, those were the days.
Oh, they were, weren't they? But prior to playing the Dallas theme, that was George McRae and Rocky Baby, which, let me have a look. It says, Rocky Baby, debut single, George McRae, written and produced by Harry Wayne, Casey, Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's quite funny, because it's the next song I'm playing. Rocky Baby is one of the landmark recordings of the early disco music, a massive international hit, and the song reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles in the United States, and spent 2 weeks at the top in July of '74, number 1 on the R&B singles charts, and repeating the feat on the UK singles charts, spending 3 weeks at the top of the charts then. There you have it. So this next one is one from Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's the way I like it. You know, my Alison knows how to look after me. She brought me through a pizza that she'd done earlier on with all the nice toppings that she added to it. And she's just now brought in a nice bowl of chips with lashings of salt and vinegar on.
Well, I know we didn't have any tea tonight.
But
because you had a breakfast.
I did. Yeah, she made me a nice breakfast as well. See, I get spoiled and looked after. That was Casey and the Sunshine Band from 1975. And That's the Way I Like It. The single became the band's second number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. And it was one of a few chart-topping song toppers in history to hit number one in more than one occasion during a 1 month period. And it also did between November and December of 75. And it also became an international hit, reaching number one in Canada and the Netherlands, and charting in Australia at number 5, Belgium at number 2, Ireland at 17, New Zealand at 12, Norway at 5, and the United Kingdom at 4, and West Germany at the time at number 20. So how are you all doing? Hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Tonight's show, if anyone's just sort of joined in thinking, oh, where are we? What decade? What show is it? Tonight's show is dedicated to those 70s kids, and I've called it Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk. Now, if anyone's not from the UK, you may not know what Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk is. But Clackers was quite a dangerous game, really. You probably need a health and safety manual sort of with it nowadays. It was two like snooker balls on a piece of string that you clacked together. But you could probably use them as a weapon and throw them now.
And it swung them round as well.
Yeah, very... The bloke he sort of invented them probably made a lot of money at that time. I know what I'm going to invent tonight. I'm going to make Clackers. Yes. They'll sell like hotcakes. And they did.
And did you have a chopper bite, Mike?
Well, I had a tomahawk. I thought I had a chopper bike, but then when I sort of think about it and I saw a picture, I had the tomahawk, which was the one down from a chopper, but I did used to be envious of the kids that had a chopper, because they were nice bikes, sort of like to ride around on. And when my son Kieran was a youngster, when he was about 10, I managed to get hold of a chopper for him, but it was a modern sort of chopper. It was strange colours. It was a multicoloured bike, but very different seats and everything. It wasn't nothing like the ones in the 70s.
You only bought him that so you could relive your childhood.
I did. I did that with
for a go.
Yeah, I did that on lots of things. I did that. Like, I know we'll get Sky Electric. I know we'll get a Hornby train set. Of course, I did.
I've still got my Ker-Plunk.
Have you?
Yes, the original Ker-Plunk. My brother gave it me a couple of years back. He got out of his attic and he said, look what I've got in my attic. And it was my original Ker-Plunk that I used to play. Yeah, but they don't make them like that now. The straws are rubbish, and you can't beat the original. The marbles, they were proper marbles.
Yeah, it's like many of them sort of games, and you sort of think of sort of like how, there was Connect Four and Operation. You remember that game sort of when it came out?
Mastermind. I've got the original Mastermind.
I've seen you've got the original Mastermind sort of in there. Because Alison does like board games, and we started collecting a few board games, didn't we? We got the Monopoly, we got Cluedo, got Trivial Pursuit, but we've only sort of played that one once. Scrabble. I
like a game of Scrabble.
Yeah, we're not talking about Scrabble, will we?
Why's that, Mike?
No.
Is that because I thrashed you?
So the next song that we've got on the show is one from Barry White. This one is Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe. I think he sounds like Chef from South Park. This one's Barry White. Oh, yeah.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. But I don't know about that. As many times as we've loved and we've shared love and made love, it doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough, baby. It's just not enough. Oh, baby. My darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby. Girl, I don't know why I can't get enough of your love, babe. Lord, some things I can't get used to, no matter how I try. It's like the more you give, the more I want, and baby, that's no lie. Oh no, babe, tell me, what can I say, what am I gonna do? How should I feel with everything in you? What kind of love is this that you're giving me? Is it in your kiss or just because you're sweet? Girl, all I know is every time you're here, I feel a change, something moving. I scream your name. Look what you got to do, and darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby. Girl, I don't know why I can't get enough of your love, baby. Oh no, baby. Girl, if I could only make you see and make you understand. Girl, your love for me is all I need, and more than I can stand. Oh well, babe, how can I explain all the things I feel? You've given me so much, girl, you're so unreal still. I keep loving you more and more each time. Girl, what am I gonna do? 'Cause you're blowing my mind. I get the same old feeling every time you're here. I feel a change, something moving. I scream your name. Look what you got to do, and darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe. Oh no, babe. Girl, I don't know why. Can't get enough of your love, babe. Oh my darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby. Oh, baby. Girl, I don't know why I can't get enough of your love, baby. Darling, I can't get enough of your love, baby.
I bet that one takes you back, doesn't it? That was Charlie's Angels.
It certainly was.
What was the boss called? Was he Bosley?
Yeah, and that was him from Dynasty, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, was it?
I can't remember. You had Charlie, which you never got to see who Charlie was.
That's right. And
then you had like yes, I think you might be right.
I think it was
Bosley, wasn't it?
Yeah, I forget his Bruce John Forsyth. I think
Was
that
it?
was his name,
Oh.
and he played Blake Carrington in Dynasty.
Oh.
I think he was the voiceover.
Oh, what, for
Maybe.
Charlie?
Maybe Richard. Yeah, maybe Richard.
Richard's probably going to come up with that one. We'll check it out in a minute. I'll have a look. But that was the previous song. Was a bit of Barry White, and I can't get enough of Your Love, Babe. Written and recorded and produced by American musician Barry White, released in 1974 as the first single from his third album, Can't Get Enough. The song topped the US Billboard Hot 100 and the Billboard R&B charts, has since become one of his signature tunes. It was his second US chart topper after Love Theme, and it became a gold record in the US. It also reached number 8 in the UK. And next song that we've got on there is one from Carl Douglas. And it's quite appropriate, this one, because we've been sort of looking at exercise and sitting down exercise, because we're both sort of, we've got sort of a physical needs where we like to...
We've
both got disabilities, so we either use wheelchairs or have to sort of like sit down, or both.
I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. No. But so we've been doing some Tai Chi, sort of sitting down Tai Chi, and we've found it's been quite therapeutic, sort of doing that.
And it's definitely helped with my neck.
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone is looking for some sort of gentle exercise, go on to YouTube. We've actually gone through one for the firefighters charity on there, and it's been really good, sort of sticking with the same one. It's only like 6 minutes long, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the Tai Chi one, and then there's the neck one we've been doing.
Yeah, neck
So
and
that's
shoulder
separate.
exercises. Anyway,
Back to the show.
back to the show. This one ties in because this one is Kung Fu Fighting.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part. From a fainting to a slip and a kicking from the hip, everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, yeah, but they fought with expert timing. There was Funky Billy Chin and Little Sammy Chung. He said, "Here comes the big boss. Let's get it on." We took a bow and made a stand. Started swaying with the hand. A sudden motion made me skip. Now we're into a brand new trip. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they did it with expert timing. Oh yeah. Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Sure, everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. Make sure you have expert timing. Kung fu fighting. Hands and feet, fast as lightning. Keep on, keep on, keep on. Yeah, yeah. Everybody was kung fu
I think we should do that after,
think we should.
during our Tai Chi.
We've been doing that all the way through the song. That was Carl Douglas and Kung Fu Fighting, a disco song by Jamaican vocalist Carl Douglas, written by Douglas and produced by British Indian musician Bidoo. And the song was released in 1974 as the first single from his debut album Kung Fu Fighting and Other Great Love Songs. on the cusp of the chop socky film craze that rose up in sort of Britain, Australia, Canada and America. So it's like brought the song up the charts really for that. Got to the top of the soul charts. It received gold disc for 1974 and popularised disco music. It eventually went on to sell 11 million records worldwide, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. The song uses the quintessential Oriental riff and short musical phrase used to signify Chinese culture. There you have it. So, Alison, what we got next?
Mike, you always ask me when I haven't got my glasses on.
Come on.
Okay, yeah, I chose this one. I did ask if you put this one on.
You did?
And it's Middle of the Road, and it's Chirpy Chirpy Cheep Cheep. I love this one.
I love this one, and we've had Chirpy Chirpy Chip Chip.
And I bet everyone will sing along.
Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Little baby gone.
Little baby gone.
Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Far, far away. Where's your papa gone?
Where's your papa gone?
Little baby gone.
Little baby gone.
Where's your papa gone?
Where's your papa gone?
Far, far away. Far, far away. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep. Woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirp. Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Little baby done.
Little baby gone.
Where's your mama gone?
Where's your mama gone?
Far, far away. Where's your papa gone?
Where's your papa gone?
Little baby done.
Little baby gone.
Where's your papa gone?
Where's your papa gone?
Far, far away. Far, far away. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep. Woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirp. Let's go now. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep. Woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirp. All together now. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep. Woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirp. One more time now. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep. Woke up this morning and my mama was gone. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep, chirp. Let me hear y'all singing now. Last night I heard my mama singing a song. Ooh-wee, chirpa, chirpa, cheep, cheep.
We were just saying that, well, Alison was just saying, I bet everyone was singing along to that one.
You can't help it.
I know you can't. Although we were singing Chirpy Chirpy Chip Chip, because I just had chips, so... Great song. Just missed a message from Richard. So Richard had already guessed that the tune that we played earlier from the TV was Charlie's Angels. Then we had the discussion talking about who Charlie was, and it was John Forsyth, who was Charlie, and Blake Carrington.
There you have it.
There you have it. And also David Doyle was Bosley.
Ah.
See, we got Richard on board as...
I knew
as
John Forsyth was in there with
Yeah,
the voice,
no.
but I wasn't sure whether it was Charlie or the other one.
No, you spot on there sort of with that. So that song we just played was Middle of a Road. composed by Lally Stott and made popular in 1971 by the Scottish band Middle of the Road. I didn't realise they were Scottish, whom had a number one chart hit with it. The version is one of the fewer 50 singles ever to have sold in excess of 10 million physical copies worldwide. Middle of the Road released their version in October 1970 in Italy. Though it failed to chart there, it was released in the UK in January 71 and initially became a hit in continental Europe only, before later growing in popularity in the UK, entered the UK singles charts in the final week of May, and reportedly got a boost from Tony Blackburn. He keeps popping up. And was favoured this version over one by Mac and Katie Kisson, who had recently released and topped the charts for 3 weeks. Topped the charts 3 weeks later for 5 weeks. Okay. In America, actually. So their hit actually sort of did well in America with it. So this next one is one that was used for an advert. I thought it was originally by the New Seekers, but it was actually for the TV advert was done by the Hill Singers. It was because the New Seekers weren't available sort of to record it sort of at the time, so they were another popular sort of folk band at the time. But this version is one from the New Seekers, and it's I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing.
I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today. Oh yeah. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Hold it in my arms and keep it company. That's the song I'd like to see the world. Let the world sing, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. That's the song I'd like to teach. Sing it along. Let the world sing today. Oh no, I'd like to teach the world.
Gotta love a bit of Citizen Smith, haven't you? Power to the people from the Tooting Popular Front.
My brother loved that.
Yeah, oh, I loved it. What was it she used to call him? Because he was Wolfie Smith, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And, I can't think of her name. She was in EastEnders as Nana Moon. Trying to think, but she used to call him Foxy.
That's it.
Hello,
yeah.
Foxy.
Yeah.
Great show. So going back to the song, I like to teach the world to sing. I can remember having to sing that at school, particularly at primary school. It was one of them sort of songs that came out and it became a sort of school standard. It says that New Seeker's version sold 96,000 copies of her record in one day, eventually selling 12 million total. Climbed the UK charts to number 1 and US to number 7 in 1971-72. Song became a gold record in the US and has also sold over 1 million copies in the UK. The Coca-Cola company waived royalties to the song and instead donated $80,000 in payments to UNICEF. There you go. Did say that Billboard ranked it as number 93 of the song of 1972. What we got on in here next then, Alison?
Well, we couldn't have this show without a bit of Shawaddy Waddy. And do you remember them in their coloured suits?
I do. I used to like, one of my first albums was a Shawaddy Waddy one.
Was it?
Yeah, it had 3 Steps to Heaven.
Oh yeah, I love all their songs, and I know my brother Shane.
I always
loves
wanted a drape suit, a teddy boy suit, and there used to be a market in London, still is, called Petticoat Lane and Club Row, and there used to be a stall there that used to do that, but they didn't do them suits for little boys. I always used to think, when I grow up, I'm going to get a teddy boy suit. I never did.
No.
So this one is
Hey Rock and Roll.
Let's rock and roll!
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are on. Happy and free. These days are on. Share memories. By gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. Looking so right, it can't be wrong. Rockin' and rollin' all week long. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Groovin' all week with you. These days are on. Share memories. These days are on. Happy and free. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and my happy days.
What a great TV theme that was. That was a Happy Days TV theme, and everyone loved the Fonz, didn't they?
I know, I wanted to marry him.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would have thought you would have been more a Chuchy.
Oh no.
You didn't
please.
like Chuchy?
No.
No, you were more Fonz.
Yeah, bit of rough. Was the leather jacket.
Was it? Oh. Oh dear.
Oh.
Microphone's gone off. Never mind, we shall keep going and we'll keep playing the music. So this next one is one from Alvin Stardust, and this one is Jealous Mind.
Why is it I must know the things you're doing? It's just my jealous mind. And when you're not at home, I just can't take it. It's just my jealous mind. I dread the time when you might leave me deep in my heart. I know you'll never go. Well, say you'll leave me. You could be out with him, and I would never mind. It's just my jealous mind. Stay with me all the time. Say there's no other guy. It's just my jealous mind. I love you so. It's just my jealous mind. Forgive my jealous mind. It's just my jealous mind. Leave it alone, my jealous mind. I can't help my jealous mind. It's just my jealous mind. It's in love that I'm so blind. Leave it alone, my jealous mind. Please forgive my jealous mind. It's just my jealous mind. Leave it alone.
And that was Alvin Stardust and Jealous Minds from 1973, written and produced by Peter Shelley, The song Jealous Minds was Alvin Stardust's only #1 hit single in the UK charts, spending a single week at the top of the charts in March 1974. The single was also released on Magnet Records and also reached number 27 in Australia. So this next one is definitely one from the glam era. This one is one by Wizard and it's See My Baby Jive.
You make things that
And that really was a wall of sound, wasn't it? That was Wizard and See My Baby Jive from 1973. Written and produced by Roy Wood, See My Baby Jive was the second single by Wood's band and their first to reach number one on the UK singles charts, spending 4 weeks at the top of the charts during May and June of 1973. It also reached number one on the Irish charts, number 5 on the German official singles charts, and number 12 hit nationally in Australia, reaching even higher in some regional charts. The singles label stated vocal backing the Sudettes. It was the 6th best selling single of UK single of 1973. ABBA actually acknowledged that it influenced their first major hit, Waterloo, and the following year a cover version by Flash Cadillac and the Continental Kids was released in 1977. So sticking with that type of glam music, we have one from Susie Quattro, and this one is Devilgate Drive.
Hey, y'all want to go down to Doublegate Drive? Yeah! Come
Welcome to the dive.
Well, at the age of 5, they can do
house needs haunting, just call Rent-A-Ghost. We've got spooks and ghouls and freaks and fools at Rent-A-Ghost. Hear the phantom of the opera sing a haunting melody. Remember, what you see is not a mystery, but Rent-A-Ghost. At your party, be a smarty and hire Rent-A-Ghost. If you want a fright like the spooky heights with Rent-A-Ghost, you can let our spirits move you and for fun play Ghostman's Luck. Because we give you shock, we hook your knees with love. That's Rent-A-Ghost. Let me say the most horrific simple ghost, not scientific, merely supernatural buoys of the day. Heavy footsteps in your attic means a spectre telepathic is descending just to spirit you away. Hey! We are extraordinary fellas here at Rent-A-Ghost. To be another eureka come to Rent-A-Ghost. For a biography we ghost writers and not forgetting a ghost script. An apparition quick from deep inside a crypt. Ring Rent-A-Ghost. An apparition quick from deep inside a crypt. Ring Rent-A-Ghost.
I had to put that one in there, a little bit of Rent-A-Ghost to sort of take you back to your childhood. And it seemed to follow nicely with Afterplay in Susie Quattro's Devilgate Drive. Sounds like a haunted place, so I had to stick Rent-A-Ghost in there. So Susie Quattro, American singer, that was her second and final solo #1 single in the UK, spending 2 weeks at the top of the charts in February 74. According to UK charts, it says she only reached #1 again in the UK 13 years and 26 days later as part of the Ferry Aid band in the charity version of Let It Be. The song was written by Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman, who, as I mentioned earlier, wrote a lot of the songs for those artists sort of in the 70s. Her previous hit was Can to Can. So next up, we've got one from a band called Substitute. No, it isn't. It's a band called Clout.
Clout? I was
Clout.
going to say, yeah, the song.
Get it right, Mike. A band called Clout, and the song's called
Substitute.
Thank you, Alison. I almost got lost with that one. That was Clout and Substitute, South African band. I didn't realise they were from South Africa, from Johannesburg. The song came out in 1977. Best known for their single Substitute, which we just played. Later in their career, the group included some male musicians who had played as session musicians on that recording. Clout's first and biggest hit single, Substitute, was a new arrangement of a Righteous Brothers song composed by Willie Wilson, and in 1978 their version reached number one in South Africa, New Zealand, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Sweden, Austria, Denmark, Belgium, and they also reached number two on the UK singles charts. They said that remained in the UK charts for 15 weeks due to sanctions against South African artists and performers by the UK's Equity at the time. The BBC television series Top of the Pops used the group's performance of a song on the Dutch TV programme Top Pop, which is very similar to Top of the Pops, in the April of 1978. To present the hit song for its top 10 countdown. So this next one is one from a band which, I bought my first single was Some Girls, but this song came out before that. This is Racy and Lay Your Love on Me. Now is a bit of 40 Towers. I'm just thinking of Manuel.
I was thinking the same.
Manuel. It is not a rat, it's a hamster. He's Siberian hamster. You know, I think they only made a handful of episodes of that, and that run for so many years, where they just kept repeating sort of the re-releasing the show, and you know, it never lost its popularity. People still sort of loved watching it, even sort of like into the 80s. It was sort of really sort of surprising sort of how popular it still was. So previous to that, we played a song by Racy, and that was Lay Your Love On Me. Another song written by Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman. They must have been cashing it in sort of back in the 70s, and produced by Mickey Most. Released in 1978, and it was their first single, reaching number 3 on the UK singles charts, number 2 in Ireland, and it was a number 1 hit in the Netherlands, Australia and New Zealand later that year. I'm just trying to sort of see if there's any more information. No, that's the information about it. So Alison's got some updates and information as well.
Okay, so we're now up to 14,773 listeners.
Hooray!
Yeah, seems a bit slower tonight, the listeners.
It does.
We're getting them, but
yeah,
it's just, it's been quite a slow one. So the next song is Matched-Up Men and Matched-Up Cats and Dogs. Bit of a mouthful, that, isn't it?
Nice.
And that's by Brian and Michael.
A lovely little tune from up north.
Yeah, I love this. Salford.
He painted Salford smoky tops on cardboard boxes from the shops, and parts of Ancoats where I used to play. I'm sure he once walked down our street, 'cause he painted kids who had out on the feet. The clothes they wore had all seen better days. Now they said his works of art were dull, no room all that the walls are full. But Lowry didn't care much anyway. They said he just paints cats and dogs and matched up men in boots and clogs, and Lowry said that's just the way they'll stay. And he painted matched up men and matched up cats and dogs. He painted kids on the corner of the street that were sparking clogs. Now he takes his brush and he waits outside them factory gates to paint his matched up men and matched up cats and dogs. Now canvas and brushes were wearing thin when London started calling him to come on down and wear the old flat cap. They said, tell us all about your ways and all about them Salford days. Is it true you're just an ordinary chap? And he painted matched up men and matched up cats and dogs. He painted kids on the corner of the street that were sparking clogs. Now he takes his brush and he waits outside them factory gates to paint his matched up men and matched up cats and dogs. Now Lowry's hung upon the wall beside the greatest of them all, and even the Mona Lisa takes a bow. This tired old man with hair like snow told northern folk it's time to go. The fever came and the good Lord mopped his brow. And he left us matched up men and matched up cats and dogs.
Hey, that was another one sort of like to slip in there, wasn't it?
Oh, I love that Little House.
Little House on the Prairie. Weren't that a lovely little programme?
Charles Ingalls.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was watching, I think it might have been when we were looking through the Disney Channel, and they had the story about sort of Laura Ingalls Wilder, and it was kind of a remake of it, and it weren't sort of like the same.
No, they
you know,
never
because you
are.
haven't got Michael Landon and
Exactly.
sort of all the other sort of characters that you associate sort of with Little House on the Prairie.
That's another one I still watch even today, because
Yeah.
they have all the episodes on Amazon.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to playing that little snippet of Little House on the Prairie, we played Matchstalk Men, Matchstalk Cats and Dogs by Brian and Michael, which Alison introduced, and it's often referred to as Lowry's song. It's a folk song by English duo Brian and Michael, released as their first single in late 77, and is from their 78 debut album, The Matchstalk Men. The song reached number 1 on the UK singles charts for 3 weeks in 1978. As the song is their only major hit, the duo remain a one-hit wonder in the UK, although one more single titled Mama briefly made the UK singles charts in 1983.
And I bet you didn't know this, Mike.
What's that?
The backing singers were the St. Winifred School Choir.
Were they really?
Yeah, you have a look.
I will, I'll look that up. Yeah.
Those were the ones that sang Grandma with the missing tooth.
Oh, was it? Was it them that done that
Yeah,
one?
they're the backing.
Oh, so they were the kids in the back doing the... Is it the big...
Ali, Ali,
the big shit sales and the
Ali.
Ali. Yes! I remember singing that sort of infant school. That one. So we're up to one of my favourite artists.
Oh.
And Alison knows who it is.
It wouldn't be Kate Bush.
Oh,
by any chance,
yes,
Mike.
it's the lovely Kate Bush. And this was her debut single from 1978. Inspired by the 1847 Emily Bronte novel of the same name. And it was released on her debut album, The Kick Inside. The song is Wuthering Heights.
Great song.
Brilliant.
Out on the winding, windy moors, we'd roll and fall in grief. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hard, too greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you, I loved you too. Bad dreams in the night. He told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave behind my walking through the heights. It's me, I can't be, I come home. I'm so cold, let me He's pleased. It's me, I can't be, I come home. I'm so cold, let me Ooh, it gets dark
Oh, Alison was doing her dance to it. She was doing a Kate Bush dance.
More like my Thai chart. Oh.
The Tai Cha? Cha Cha Cha? Cha Cha?
Tai
Cha Cha?
Chi.
What language are we speaking now?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
Those actions.
I was saying to Alison that there is a group of people that meet up on the moors every year and they dress up as Kate Bush. They wear a red dress, though, and not the white dress that you see us singing this song in. And that includes gentlemen, blokes with great big bushy beards, turn up and they sort of do the dance on the moor. Yes, you find it's on YouTube. I bet you'll find it. I need to thank Richard again. Richard has sent us some info through saying about the Little House on the Prairie, but there is 8 books in total. The Laura Ingalls books are fabulous, he says. Little House in the Big Woods is the first one, and Little House on the Prairie is the second one. But there's several books, so we're going to check that out, Richard. And we want to thank you. Yeah, tonight it's been great having you on here, sort of like doing the research for us and adding to it. It really does make a difference, sort of like to have that. So we can't thank you enough for doing that. So Wuthering Heights, like I said, it was peaked at number 1 in the UK singles charts for 4 weeks. It also reached the top charts in Australia, Ireland, Italy, New Zealand, Portugal. With this song, Bush became the first female artist in the UK to achieve a number 1 single with a self-penned song. So a song that she had written and recorded herself. It does say that it went to number 1 for the month, and it actually dethroned ABBA's Take a Chance on Me to take the top spot. And she was actually competing against another very famous female artist, Debbie Harry and Blondie, with her single, or their single, Denise. Amid such public discussions about the two singers' respective merits, Bush came out on top while Blondie stalled at number 2 with Wuthering Heights. And you never guess what knocked Wuthering Heights off?
ABBA.
No. Matchstalk Men and Matchstalk Cats and Dogs. Yeah. I should have done them in that order, shouldn't I? Put that on there. We are getting very, very near the end of tonight's show. We really enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed our sort of banter and chit-chat, because that's what we love doing. We love sort of chatting. It feels like we're sort of chatting to friends when we're sort of sat here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we love doing that. What song have we got next, Alison?
So the next song we've got is Blondie and Sunday Girl. Good song.
Just ties in, doesn't it?
Like he's in another world, running hard Sunday.
What a great song to choose. That was Blondie and Sunday Girl, recorded by the band in 1978 for the album Parallel Lines, which is a fantastic album. The song was inspired by Debbie Harry's cat, didn't know that, who was named Sunday Man, and the cat had recently run away, inspiring the song for the song's plaintive nature. It says Sunday Girl was released as a follow-up to the band's number one single, Heart of Glass, which was number one in the UK and in Europe, but not in the US. The single that was at number one. This particular single, Sunday Girl, was at number one, reached the top spot in several European countries. It has since seen critical acclaim and been included on several compilation albums. So we have reached the end of tonight's show. So we hope you've enjoyed I know it has.
Yeah, it's a longer show.
It is a longer show. But I hope you've enjoyed the little sort of snippets that we put in with the different sort of TV themes, and enjoyed our RadioCare's Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk.
Whatever made you think of that?
I don't know. How does my brain work? I just sit there and all of a sudden I think, I know, that'll fit, that'll do. Realising not everyone's going to know what Clackers, Choppers and Ker-Plunk is. So we've reached the end of the show, and we thought we'd finish with another famous TV theme. And this one is one from a very famous TV duo. Mm-hmm. Very popular throughout the 70s. They were in the 60s, but more so sort of in the 70s. And it's Morecambe and Wise, and a fantastic song, Bring Me Sunshine. So all that is left for Alison and myself to say is...
Don't forget to like and share, and it's goodbye from him.
And it's good night from her. Good night.
Good night. Ta-ra.
Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much joy you can give to each brand new bright tomorrow. Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love. Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much joy you can give to each brand new bright tomorrow. Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love, sweet love. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love. Hey!
Radio Care is presented by DJ Magic Mike, broadcasting in the UK. If you like great music, you're in the right place.